Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jocelyn. On this YouTube channel we talk about everything finance. If you're not new here, welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all so much. In this video I wanted to talk about how to start a sinking fund, and I also want to talk about month ahead and getting ahead on bills. 2026 is right around the corner, so if you've been thinking that next year you want to finally take control of your finances, you want to start saving, and you want that to be a goal, but maybe you're not sure where to start, then this would be a great video for you. This is kind of gonna be like a beginner type of video. And yeah, then I'm also going to be talking about my month ahead. So first I'm going to talk about sinking funds, and then I'm going to talk about my month ahead, and then at the end I'm going to also give you guys some tips on what has helped me like be consistent, maybe some mistakes to avoid as well while getting started in your journey. So first things first, if you're completely new to this and you don't even know what a sinking fund is, like what is that term? Sinking funds pretty much is you putting money aside, like little by little, towards like an event that you know will eventually come up. So for some examples, emergency, car insurance, car maintenance, pet care, things like that you know eventually it's going to come up. So for pet care, you may have an emergency and you have to take them to the vet, and you put some money into either your envelope, or you just put some money aside for pet care specifically. So when you do go to the vet, you get to the front desk and they say, hey, your total is going to be $800. Maybe you were able to put money aside little by little and save $500. So instead of trying to scramble and say, okay, where am I going to get the $800, at least you save $500, so now you only have to pay $300. For example, recently I went to go get my car maintenance. Well, not recently, maybe like a few months ago. I went to go do maintenance for my car. I had $200 saved in that envelope. By the time everything was done and I went to go check out or went to go pay, I was told that my balance or my bill was $253. So at least I had $200 saved. So I only had to really like come out of pocket $53, if that makes sense. Like, for me, girl math, I didn't see it on my bank statement. All I saw was $53. So for me, in my mind, in my head, I only paid $53 for my maintenance. Yes, I paid $253, but because I was able to save that $200, it didn't feel like much of like a stress, you know, like, okay, now I have to figure out where I'm gonna come up with that $253, right? Because, you know, sometimes life happens, you have your bills, you have your expenses, maybe you have other debts, and it's good to just kind of put money aside, save little by little, so that way when certain things come up, you are as prepared as you possibly can be. Will you always be prepared for every single like life event that happens? No, but the goal is to be as prepared as possible. So that is basically what a sinking fund is. Sinking funds is pretty much, in simple terms, just putting money aside little by little for an event that eventually may come up. So before you even decide like what sinking fund categories you want to like save for, I recommend first to determine how much you actually can save on a monthly basis. So you can either do pen or paper, or if you have like a budget tracker, paycheck tracker, a paycheck breakdown, then you can also use that as well. I do have these available on the website. They're laminated, so once you're done writing, you can just take some cotton ball with alcohol and then just erase it, and then you can reuse it. But you don't have to buy this if you only have paper and pen. I've seen a lot of people do like in a notebook, do their cash breakdown in the notebook. So if you only have that available, that is okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and just zoom in a little bit so you guys can see, and excuse my handwriting if it looks weird because I am like at an angle. I do write with my left, but I'm just at an angle. So we are gonna talk about like November. Let's just do November, and let's just say you don't do any overtime. Let's say every paycheck you get is $2,000, right? No overtime. You just work your 80 hours. Okay, so write that down. if you know, like, you always do 3 hours of overtime, let's say like you always do 3 hours of overtime each pay period, or you always do 5 hours of overtime, whatever your paycheck is, write that down. First paycheck, second paycheck, if you get paid bi-weekly. So for example, just for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna just say $2,000, and then so for the month you would be making $4,000. So then you're gonna go and you're gonna write down what your fixed bills are. So let's say you have rent. Rent is, I don't know, $1,500. Then let's say you have your phone bill. Phone bill is $80. Then let's say you have internet. Your internet is, I say, $7. So you know, you get the idea. You're gonna write down your fixed bills, and fixed bills are pretty much the bills that are due on the same date every single month. So whatever bills that are like, they're pretty much set. I wouldn't say set amount, yes, but the reason why I say the reason why I say yes and no is because if you pay light, like let's say you live somewhere, usually when you're renting, light and water is included, I think majority of the time. But let's say you are, I'm sorry, water is included, light usually you have to pay. But let's say like light bill, you know, light bill fluctuates. Usually in the summer it's higher, and then like in the winter it's lower because like the AC, depending on where you live. So that your light bill is due every single month on the same day, but it can fluctuate. So in those cases, I would say go with the highest amount. The highest bill you've ever received for your light bill, I would put that. And even if it comes down less, then okay, you have a little bit extra money to work with, but at least that way you'll be as prepared. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I don't know, maybe the light bill will come out to $300 this month. I don't know, but at least I can set that aside. And if it does come out less, then it's like, okay, you know what? It only came out to $150 this month. Okay, well now I have an extra $150 that I can either save or put towards debt, whatever. So fixed bills, everything that comes out on the same day each month. Then you have your variable expenses, which is groceries, gas. These are things that you do have to pay for, but it's not really like a set date. You put gas whenever you need it, you buy groceries whenever you need it. So we're gonna put groceries, and let's just say groceries is $300, and then we're gonna put gas, and let's say gas for the month is $100. Okay, and then let's just say, for example, debt. Let's just say you have a credit card that is $100, and then you have, I don't know, a loan that is $200. Okay, just throwing numbers out there. All right, so now that you have everything written down and you know for the month what your paychecks are normally, you wrote down all your fixed bills, you wrote down your variable expenses, you wrote down whatever debt you have, if you do have any, then you're gonna come down here, or at least this is how like I like to do it. Again, if you're only using notebook, like pen and notebook, then you can also just write this in. So your total income is gonna be $4,000. So you're gonna write what your fixed bills are, your variable, what? I can't talk. You're gonna write down your fixed bills, you're gonna write down your variable expenses, and you're gonna write down what your debt is. So you're gonna write down each like separately, and then I guess, or you can add it all together. Honestly, you can just add it all together. So you have 1,500, I just have my little calculator here off to the side. So you have 1,500 plus 80 plus 70 equals 1,650. Oh wait, I'm missing the one. Oh, I messed up. All right, 1,650 plus you have 300 plus 100, that's 400. Okay, and then you have 300 here, we know that. Okay, so we have that, and then let me just add in the 300 at the bottom. All right, so everything together, your fixed bills, your variable expenses, and your debt all come out to $2,350. So you're gonna write that down here, or however you guys are doing it, and then you're gonna subtract it from your total income, right? Which for the month we said is $4,000. So 4,000. All right, so you have remaining $1,650. which is amazing. I wish this was my budget. Okay, so you have, all right, so now we know what it is that you have left over to start saving. All right, so now that you know what you have left over to start saving, now you can decide, okay, what are my categories? What categories do I want to start saving for? I gave you some examples earlier. Now I want to show you all what I have. Like, this is my sinking funds binder, right? So let me just show you all. I was gonna flip it back, but I can't even do that. All right, so I'm gonna just show you all what I have here. So Aria, and I just set a little goal. So this is the goal that I wanna, this is like the minimum goal that I wanna have like in her envelope, right? But even if I reach this goal, I can keep adding, right? Because if for any pet owners out there, you know, the bigger your dog is, the more expensive things can be. Injections, medicine, whatever. My Aria is 92 pounds, so whenever I have to get her injections for arthritis or any type of medicine, it can be a little bit expensive. Like, I've spent a lot of money on her. So I have Aria, I have birthdays, I have car maintenance, car insurance, Christmas, dining out, emergencies, gas, low-key spending, and I have my tithing. So dining out, you don't necessarily have to save for that if you don't want to, but if you know that you're someone that you like to eat out here and there, then yeah, maybe put some money aside so that way you just like have it there. And then of course, emergencies, the minimum I feel like you should have for emergencies is 1,000. I've seen some people say it should be 2,000, but again, whatever is comfortable for you. If you can save 1,000, great. If you can only save 500, great, but at least you have that money there in case of a real emergency. So yeah, so these are my categories there, and then you'll determine from then what it is, like what your goal is for each category. And then when you get paid, every time you know, after you finish like paying your bills, paying your expenses for that paycheck, whatever you have left over, then you can decide, okay, for emergencies I want to put 100. For dining out, I want to put 20. For gas, maybe I want to put 60. For spending, maybe I want to put 40. For birthdays, I want to put, you know, so on and so on. So that way, little by little, you don't have to do so much at one. Just remember too that, you know, this is your journey. You go at your pace. If you see somebody, you know, putting in $500 each paycheck into emergency, but you know, like, you can't do that, it's okay. This is, again, your journey. You just go at your own pace, and the best thing is just to be like honest with yourself and set those realistic goals, which I'm going to talk a little bit more at the end. But so yeah, so that's pretty much it for sinking funds. First, just to recap, you're going to write down what your income is, either by paycheck. Just write down what you would normally get if you get paid bi-weekly. Maybe you also have like a second job. Maybe you have a side hustle that you know, like, consistently every single month, I don't know, you bring in around a certain amount. Whatever your income is, you can put it here. Then you're going to write down your fixed bills, your variable expenses, debt, and then you're going to determine at the bottom what your total income is, what is everything added together, and then what you have remaining. So what are you working with? After you do that, then you can start determining, writing down your categories, what exactly you want to save for, and then each paycheck you can determine, okay, it doesn't have to be the same amount each paycheck. And you don't have to, let's say you have multiple like binders, you also don't have to cash up or put money aside for every single binder. Do what you can. If you know you can, okay, you know what, I can only do this much for this paycheck, that's fine. If I can't do for this paycheck, okay, that's fine. All right, so that's pretty much it for sinking funds. Now let's go ahead and move on to month ahead. Okay, so this is my month ahead binder. So pretty much, like, I want to say, like, I've gotten a lot of questions. Like, usually when I post cash stuff for my month ahead, I'll get a few questions here and there. Like how to do a month ahead. People want to start a month ahead, but they're like not sure, they're confused how to do it. So I'm gonna tell you guys why I started my month ahead and how I actually do it, and then tell you like how you can do it, because you know, you can do it how you feel you want to do it. So the reason why I actually started my month ahead, and this is not just month ahead, it's actually 3 months ahead. So for example, my phone bill is 125, so I save, I want to say like about 375. Yeah, so my phone bill is about 125, so I believe I saved like 375 or 350. For example, water averages about 100 a month, so I save 300. Solar, me and my boyfriend do split it. It's $200. I pay 100, he pays 100, so I save 300. And then there's some other categories in there too. I think like therapy is $100 a month, so I save for like $300. So this is actually like 3 months ahead binder. The reason why I started my month ahead binder is because eventually in my reality, I see myself I see myself like parting ways with my 9-to-5 at some point to focus fully on my business and transition to from 9-to-5 to be a full-time entrepreneur. That is what, you know, I see in my future, in my reality, and that is a goal that I'm you know, this is something that I'm aiming for. So however, I know that sometimes things can happen in life. You know, maybe 1 month in business can be slow, another one could be good. So I just want to be prepared and just have a good cushion for when I finally decide to make that move and I don't feel like stressed about bills. Because at least I know if I have 3 months plus saved up, then I'm okay, you know? So that's the reason why I started my month ahead. And pretty much it's just like my bills. So it's my dashboard, right, the thing, and then I have mortgage, internet, groceries, phone bill, solar, subscriptions, therapy, and then I have water. So that's all of my categories in there. And so once I finish achieving that goal, there's a few in there that I've already achieved. I've taken that out and I've transferred that to my savings account and my bank. I'm still on the hunt for a high yield savings account. I was recommended one, but they are not close to me, which I'm so surprised. But the bank is actually not like close to me. It's pretty far, and I'm just trying to debate whether or not like if I want to have my bank so far. So I'm still looking. Once I find a high yield savings account, then I would actually be transferring the money in my savings to the high yield savings account, so that way it can like build up more. So right now all the categories that I have already completed and filled, they are in my savings account. I'm not using that. It is there again until I decide that I want to part ways with my like my company. So I plan to just kind of like have it there for that, or like, you know, an emergency. But really it's for, that's the purpose of it, like for when I decide that I want to just transition to be a full-time entrepreneur. So that's why I started my savings and how I've been doing it. Now, if you want to start a month ahead and you decide, you know what, 1 month I am just going to use the money that's in my month ahead and just keep a paycheck to myself. I'm going to just keep a paycheck to myself and just use that to maybe go on a trip, or maybe to do some shopping, or just to treat myself. And then I'm going to use the money that's in my month ahead binder. I'm going to put that into the bank and just use that to pay my bills. You can do it like that if you want to. It's completely up to you. It's your money at the end of the day. Or let's say something happens. Let's say 1 month you have an issue with your car and it cost you like $500, or it cost you like a lot more than what you were expecting, what you were hoping, and now you realize, okay, I can't pay my phone bill this month, or I can't pay my internet this month. Like, what am I gonna do? If you have the money already saved here, then you can use that, put it in the bank, and then you can pay your phone bill, pay your internet. So that's another way. You can also kind of like keep it there, and then if anything happens, comes up in life, and you're like, you know what, I actually can't pay this bill, like, what am I gonna do? You have the money already there, and you can just use that money. So that is the purpose pretty much for a month ahead. You just determine what it is, like what is the amount. So for me, my phone bill is 125. I just multiply that times 3, set 375 as the goal, and then little by little just add that. In each paycheck, I don't just add like a whole bunch. No, maybe one paycheck I'll add 40, or one paycheck I'll add 60, maybe one paycheck I'll add 80, and I'll just keep doing it little by little until I reach that goal. Same thing for all the other categories. I'm going to determine how much it is. If I want to just do 1 month, then I'm going to just set the goal for that exact amount. If I want to do 3 months, multiply by 3, and then set that as the goal, and then each paycheck, little by little, put the money in there until you reach that goal. And then once it's completed, then you can decide to move to your savings or also do a high yield savings. So that is pretty much what I'm doing with my month ahead, and how you can also get ahead on your bills. And then also I gave you some examples of like how you can use it. So let's now talk about what are some things that have actually helped me be consistent with like my sinking funds and being consistent with my savings. First things first is set realistic goals. I talked about this earlier. Set realistic goals. Do not compare yourself to anybody, okay? This is your path. This is your journey, and you go at your own pace. So you save what you can. If you can only save $20 for the month, then okay, save $20. Something is better than nothing. However, life happens. Certain things just happen, and maybe you can't save anything for the month. Maybe you have to skip a month. That's fine. At the end of the day, I would just say is just try your best to just set realistic goals. Be honest with yourself. Another thing, try to make it fun. So for example, this my sinking funds binder, I have like little inserts in here, right, that kind of like match the theme, right? Birthdays. I just set an amount for each like element, and then determine like at the end like how much the total is. So this is also a nice fun way to save. So do some like little challenges that you can match up with that, or maybe buy some challenges and say, you know what, I'm gonna put this, if you know like for a birthday the goal is $500, maybe see if you can get a $500 savings challenge, and then use that to, once you complete that challenge, you can move that money to your birthdays. So setting realistic goals, making it fun. So try not to like dabble in envelopes. So if you have an emergency envelope and you've been adding money in there, and then all of a sudden Coach is having a sale, or I don't know, Fashion Nova is having a sale, and you're like, oh wait, you know, I don't have the money in my account, but I do have some money in my emergency. Let me just take some money out of my emergency and just use that. I would highly recommend not to do that, because you never know, if you pull money out of there and you're like, oh, I'll just put it back when I get paid, and then let's say the next day something happens and you have a real emergency, and now you're like, okay, wait, I'm short $100 because I took $100 out to buy something that wasn't really a part of an emergency. So I would really just try not to pull or dabble in any other envelopes. Just only pull from the envelope that you should be pulling from. So if you're out and you're shopping and you see something, okay, you know what, I have money in my spending account, I'm gonna just use that money for spending. So yeah, so I feel like those are some things that have helped me stay focused, stay on track, and also to celebrate your wins. That's another thing. Celebrate your wins, even if it's something small. Like, you know what, I reached $100. I saved $100 in one of my categories, or I saved $50. It's okay, you know. I would celebrate your small wins. Small wins matter. So celebrate. Don't forget to celebrate yourself, and just also like take a look at your progress. Even the fact that you just decided to start saving and you actually did it and you're starting to save, that right there is a win. So, and then as you go on, as you grow, and as you know, keep saving more and more, you're gonna look back and think, oh my god, I remember when I first started, and now look how much money I have in this envelope or this binder. And even do like counts. I have a video on my YouTube counting like, okay, how much have I saved so far? And honestly, I didn't think, it's not like a big number, it's not like a huge number, but still I was so proud. I was like, oh my god, like it's still something, you know what I'm saying? So celebrate your small wins. But that's pretty much it, guys. I'm not sure if I missed anything from my budgeting community that may just so happen to watch this video. If I did miss anything, comment down below, or comment down some helpful tips too, so that other people can see in the comments. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more content like this. See you in the next video. Bye bye.